What we discussed in the last session.
Variable.
We discussed about variables, right? How to create a variable in Python. So can anyone answer these questions? If I run this one, what is the output?
Name is not
Name is
defined.
not defined.
Exact output is what? Exact output
Name error. Name is not defined.
is not defined or not. Okay. Okay, now
Sachin.
the output is like Sachin or not. If I write like this, is it valid or invalid?
Valid.
It is like valid or invalid? It is like 100% valid. Why? Because in Python, there is no type for the variable or not. There is no type for the variable. So this statement is like valid or invalid. Python is dynamically typed programming language. Is it valid or invalid? The statement. Python is dynamically typed programming language. This statement is valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid, sure.
Like 100% valid or not? Okay. Tell me how we can say. How we can say Python is like dynamically typed programming language.
Allocate the memory dynamically.
Is there any other programming languages as like Python? Okay, as like Python means as like Python, dynamically typed programming language. Is there any other programming languages are there or not? First tell me, Python is dynamically typed programming language. Yes, 100% valid. How we can say? Very simple. In Python, they not allocate the memory first. They allocate the memory when? To that particular value dynamically or not. They allocate the memory for that particular variable value dynamically, not first, like Java. Is there any other programming languages as like Python, dynamical type of programming languages there or not there? Simply you can say JavaScript. JavaScript also dynamically typed programming language. In JavaScript also there is no type. Understood? You okay, everyone? Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid.
Valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid.
What kind of error we can get it? What kind of error we can?
Keyword- Keywords are not allowed.
Syntax error you can get it or not?
Syntax.
Syntax. Okay. Syntax error you can get it. What is syntax error? When you can get the syntax errors? Any programming language. What is syntax error? When you can get the syntax errors in any programming language. In any programming language, when you can get the syntax errors.
When we do not follow guidelines.
If you not follow the rules, right? If you not follow the rules or guidelines or then the type you can get the syntax errors or not. Syntax error, to fix the syntax error, there is no reasons, nothing. You have to follow the guideline, that's it. Okay, if you ask like why we should not use for, okay, I don't have an answer. You should not use a reserved word as a variable name. That is a rule. That is a rule. Okay, why you should not use means there is no reason. Okay. This one is valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid.
Or valid? Invalid. Okay. In Python, the variable name should not contain any spaces. Should not contain any spaces. This is also invalid. Okay. Is it okay? So my question is, create two variables which can hold, okay, 10 and 20. So we can create two variables which can hold 10 and 20. So we can create. Come on.
A equal to 10, B equal to 20.
Can I write like this? Yes or no? Can I write like
Yes.
this? Okay. Now, is it valid or invalid? If I write like this, is it valid or invalid? Okay.
Valid.
Valid.
Valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid.
Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid.
Okay. The first one is like number one equals to 10. It's like straightforward, right? Variable name and the variable value. The value is like what? 10. It's like straightforward. The next one is what? Number two equals to 20. It's also what? Normal only. But here, if you observe, number three equals to number one. Okay. Here, which one is like a variable name? Variable name is what?
Number 3.
Come on, number three. The variable name is like number three. Okay. What is my variable value?
Number
Number
1.
1.
Okay. Now
That is 10.
here, two things you have to keep in your mind. This is like a direct value, na? Or it is like a refer some value. Na?
Refer some value.
That one you have to keep in your mind. Is it like direct value? Direct value is nothing but a number, a string. These all are like direct values. Is it like direct value or it refers some other value? It refers some other value. Which one? Direct value or refer some value?
Refer some value.
Refer some value. Okay, which value it referred? Number one refers which value? Number one refers which value?
10.
10, right?
10.
Number one refers 10. So number one refers 10. So my number three value is what?
10.
Okay, this
10.
is now come to this one. This statement. Tell me. This is what?
Variable.
Variable name. And this one,
Variable. Value.
this is variable value. This is value na reference. It is value or reference.
Reference.
It is value or reference. It's like a number. It's like a string. No. It is a reference. It refers some value. Okay. Now you can check. Is number 5 is refer some value or not? First of all, number 5 is there or not there? You can check it. Is my number 5 is there before this statement?
Define.
Not there.
Is my number 5 is there? Not there, right? One member, if it is not there, one member, if it is not there, then the type in Python, which error you can get it? In Python, which error you can get it?
Number 5 is not defined.
Name number 5 is not defined or not. Yes or no? To this particular statement, the error is like what? Name number 5 is not defined. Agreed, everyone? Okay, next. This statement. This statement.
That is a variable name.
Come on.
Valid.
Number 6. It's a
Variable.
variable. What about number 7? It's a value or reference.
Valid.
Variable value.
String. It's a string. Internal number 7 is there, but outside it's a string. It is like a value. So my number 6 value is what? This string or not? This string or not? So here first two are straightforward. Second one, you can assign one more. You can assign one reference to your variable or not. You can assign one reference to your variable or not. Okay. Here also you assigned a reference only, but that reference is not defined. So that you can get like what? Name number 5 is not defined. Here it is hold direct value straightforward. It's a string value. It hold or not. Agreed everyone? You're okay? Okay then. Okay. These three statements are valid or invalid? These three statements are valid or invalid?
Valid.
100% valid.
Valid.
Valid. But here, if you observe in Python, the same value you assigned with the same value you assigned for multiple variables or not. In Python, if you assign the same value for multiple variables, then the time we can write the shorthand syntax like this. We can write the shorthand syntax like this. Yes or no? We can write the shorthand syntax is like this. In Python only, this is like a valid syntax. In Python only, this is like a valid syntax. Understood about variables so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay then. See, as I said, the variables concept is like common for any programming language, but the syntax may be different. In Java, the way of creating the variable may be vary from Python, what we written now. But the concept is there, na? Why we go for variable? If anybody asks, what's your answer? Why we go for variables? What's your answer? Variables are used to store some data. To store some data or not? It refers some value. It refers some value. Okay. Okay then. Now the next concept is same for remaining all programming languages only. The concept is like functions. The concept is like what? Functions. This is also common for all programming languages. Now tell me, why we go for functions? First question. First question is like general question. Why we go for functions? The next question is what? How can we create functions in Python? That's it, right? How we can create the functions in Python. Okay. Is Python is functional programming language? Python is okay. Statement I'm going to write. This is like a valid or invalid. You can tell. Python is functional programming language as well as object-oriented programming language. Python is functional programming language and object-oriented programming language. Valid or invalid statement? These three questions answers I want. First one, why we go for functions? This is general question. Any programming language you can take it. This is the general question. Why we go for functions? Okay. So I have one small scenario. Don't think more about this one. See, very simple scenario. One person is there. He want to find the sum of 10, 20. One person is there. He want to find the sum of 10, 20. How we can write the code? Number 1, 10. Number 2, 20. Next, my sum equals to what? Number 1 plus number 2. Can I print sum? Total how many variables you created in this code snippet? Total how many variables you created?
2 variables, 1 function.
Three.
Total 3 variables you created or not. Okay, total 3 variables you created. Number 1, 1 variable. Number 2, and the sum also 1 variable which holds number 1 plus number 2. Can anyone tell me number 1 is a reference or a value?
Reference.
Value.
The reference. It is a reference. It refers which value? 10. It is reference. 10 to reference or value?
Reference.
Yes,
Refers.
refers what? 20. And finally, into sum. Done. There has one more person also there. Second person. Okay. There has one more person also there. Second person. He has also same requirement. What you know? Find the sum of 10, 21. Then what he is going to do? What he is going to do? Okay. Third person also there. He also find the sum of. Come on. He also find the sum of 10, 21. All people, 3 members required the sum of 10, 20. Yes. All are satisfied or not? First person find the sum of 10, 20. The output is like 30. Second person also find the sum of 10, 20. The output is like 30. Third person also output is like 30. Each and every person get the expected output only or not. But by seeing this one, is it recommended way of writing the code? Think all are like in one area. The 3 people requirement is like same. You want me to do individual or any other way is there? Which one is recommended? One tell me. Is it the recommended way of not? Recommended way or not? Tell me. Come on. If you observe here, first person find the sum of 10, 20, right? The same requirement this guy also, same requirement this guy also having. In that case, why we need to write the same code again and again 3 times? Total how many lines of code you written? 4, 4, 4. 12 lines of code you written. Just think 400, 400, 400. Total 1200 lines of code you written. It is a kind of 400 lines of code only you repeated like what? 2 more times, right? It's a kind of what? Duplicate code or not? Any programming language you can take it. Writing the duplicate code is not a recommended one. Any programming language you can take it. Writing the duplicate code is not a recommended one. Got my point? Writing the duplicate code is not a recommended one. So how we can achieve this requirement? How we can achieve? I don't want to write the same code again and again. I don't want to write the same code again and again. In any programming language, you can take it. Writing the duplicate code is not a recommended one, I said. Okay, how we can avoid this problem? That is the question.
By using functions.
Using functions, right? So tell me how we can. So wherever the duplicate code is there, it represents what? Same kind of functionality or not? Can you do one thing? Can you write one function with this functionality? Can you ask the person 1 use that functionality? Can you ask the person 2 use that functionality? Can you ask the person 3 use that functionality? Will it work or not? Will it work or not? Come on. Here we have same lines of code 3 times you written. Instead of written like 3 times, can you do one thing? Write 1 time. Write 1 time within the function. Write one function with this functionality. You can ask these 3 members use that functionality. You can ask these 3 members use that functionality. Will it work or not? Now we can define a function. Why we go for a function? Come on, I said like write the function with this functionality. Ask these people use that functionality. So now you can answer the question why we go for functions. Come on, why we go for functions?
to reduce the lines of code.
One is like reusability. Yeah. Okay. Any other answers? The function simple, right? Which represents some functionality that can be reusable or not. Yes, no. Simple answer. The function which represents what? Some functionality. In this case, find the sum of 10, 20. The function which represents some functionality that can be reusable or not. How many times you want? That many times you can use it or not. Yes or no. Come on. Definition is okay. Which represents some functionality that can be reusable. If you want to reuse it, you can reuse it. Yes. That can be reusable. Sorry. You know everyone. Okay, what is the next question? Come on, what is the next question?
How to create a function.
How to create a function, right? The next question is like how to create a function or not in Python. So how to create a function or nothing but, okay, what is the syntax to create a function or not? What is the syntax to create a function in Python? Yes or no? If you know this one, then you can create a function with this functionality and you can ask them use that functionality or not. You can ask them to use that functionality or not. Yes or no? So my requirement is what now? How to create one. How to create a function in Python. How to create a function in Python. So this syntax is like very, very important. Okay, see, problem. First, you need to define a function, right? You need to define a function. For that purpose, I need a syntax. If you want to define a function in Python, there has one keyword or one reserved word is there. That reserved word is what? DEF. Okay, if you want to remember, just define a function. Okay, DEF, define a function like this. You can definition. Okay, DEF is the keyword which is used for what? Come on, to create a function. This is the keyword, reserved word. Now, the next one. Come on, anyone? The next one.
Function name.
Function name, right? Function name. Function name. The function name is dynamic or not? That means always same based on the functionality it is going to change. DEF is like always same. It's like a predefined keyword. But the function name is like keep on changing or not. Yes or no? The next one. Function representation. This is like a function. How we can represent? By using these braces. By using these braces. This is my function representation. After that, you create a function. You want to create a function, right? For what purpose? To represent some functionality, right? Okay, if you want to perform some operation or if you want to represent some functionality, you have to write some piece of code or not. Okay, 1 line, 2 line, or 3 lines, 20 lines, like this. Some lines of code you have to write it or not. So in this particular function also, you have to write some code. Okay, that is nothing but function body. Some statements I want to write it. In this case, how many statements? In this case, statement is nothing but 1 line, you can say. In
Four
this case, how many statements you want me to write? 4 statements. Okay, you can write any number of statements, but minimum 1 statement is required. You can write any number of statements, but minimum 1 statement. Here in this case, how many statements? In this case, 4 statements you said. So these 4 statements inside this function or not, like that you have to write the syntax. So most of the programming languages, we are going to use the curly braces like this. Inside the curly brace, you can write what? Come on, you can write what? Your statements like this or not? Yes or no? Most of the programming languages, yes, no? C, CPP, Java, .NET. If you see, this is only the syntax or not. In the function body, if you want to write some statements, those statements you can write inside the curly brace. Now, something if I write outside, this is inside the function or outside the function?
Outside the function.
It is
Outside.
outside the function or not. So now this is not the valid syntax in Python. Okay, the similar kind of syntax you have to write in Python. So how you know? The function contains some statements. Those statements are belongs to that function. That means within the block I have to write it. In Python, if you want to write the block, how you know? Okay, this kind of curly brace not. Then Python, the block is going to start with the colon. Wherever the colon is there, that means you are starting one block. Okay. Now, don't think like ending is like one more column. Not like that. Don't think like that. Okay. So my block was started. So ending, where it is ended, how we can come to know? If it is like curly brace open and close, I can come to know like what? Yes, wherever the curly brace closed, that means my function closed there. I can understand like that. But here, there has what? Colon is there. But ending, where it is? Ending, where it is? But how I can come to know here my function body ended? How we can come to know means here you have to follow the indentation in Python. This is very, very important. Wherever the block is there, okay, that means wherever my block is going to start in Python, how we can come to know the block started? By using column. In the blocks, some statements you have to write, right? Those statements you need to follow the indentation. Indentation is nothing but, okay, see here you need to give 4 spaces or 1 tab you can give it. Whenever the block started, inside that one, the statement which is following the indentation with 4 statements, then 4 spaces, then that time you can understand like that particular statement is belongs to that particular block. At this moment, the block started here. How many statements followed the indentation? Tell me. How many statements followed the indentation? Come on.
One.
Only one.
One.
So in this particular Python, okay, function, how many statements are there in the body?
Only one.
Only one statement. Why? Because only one statement only followed the indentation or not. How many spaces? 4 spaces. Now, if I write like this, how many statements are there? How many
Two.
statements are there? Okay, if I write like this, 3. If I write like this,
3.
4. Okay, if I
4.
write like this, how many statements are there? How many statements are there?
5.
5. Okay. Okay. We'll see that one. All the cases. Now you understood, right? The syntax. Everyone understood the syntax or not? Very simple syntax. Define a function, DEF. Which function? Function name. Function, how we can say? Represent that as a function. Function contains what? Some statements which represent some functionality. Start the block. Okay. Write the statements with indentation. That's it. That's it. Okay. Shall we check? Okay. Let's go then. Can I go with the Google Colab again? How we can? Okay. You want me to go with the new one or you want me to go with the existing one? Variables done. Okay, I don't want to go with the existing one. Can I go with the new notebook? How we can? How we can open the new notebook? File.
Go to
New
file.
in the drive.
New.
Sir, you gave that flower bracket as an example, sir. So flower bracket we use for other languages. Here in Python, we are using colon.
Can
Correct,
you
sir?
please the question?
Yes, sir. That flower bracket we use in Python, or is it only for other languages, sir? You gave it as example.
Other languages.
Other language. Okay, got it, sir.
Okay, we'll tell that one. Okay, next any other language if you suggest, then the time we'll see the syntax. Slight changes are there. We'll tell. Okay, just focus on Python for now. Now come here. This is my corner. Can I define the function? Right. Come on. How we can define? df
df
of that function
function
name.
name.
Okay, based on your requirement, whatever the name you want to give, you can give it. Can I write find sum, for example? Yes, no. Next, next.
Representation.
Representation. Yes. Next,
Colon.
start my function body. Okay, na? Next, you need to follow the indentation. See, by default, this is the editor, right? It's like Python. Okay, so they after this particular column, they follow the by default indentation or not. See, one, yes or no? I click on the tab. See, yes, no. It take one tab space or not. Here, if I write like this, n1 equals to 10, valid or invalid? Valid or invalid? How many statements are there in this function?
One statement.
Only one
One
statement.
statement.
Only one statement is there. Yes. Okay. If I write like this, n2 equals to 20, valid or invalid?
Valid.
Okay.
Valid.
100% valid. If I write like sum equals to n1 plus n2, valid or invalid?
Valid.
Now, if you come here, okay, in this particular function, how many statements are there? That is the question or not? Yes or no? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me? Some different function. Okay, I don't want to use this function. Some different function, I want to use it. Okay, yes, per you, this is like a value. Okay, we'll test it later. Now, if I write like this, how many statements are there? How many statements are there?
Two.
Two.
Two statements. This particular one out of your function or not? Out of your function. Okay, okay, perfect. Now, how many statements you want me to write inside this particular function? Okay, happy path you can complete. After that, we can write, okay, we can, okay, just looking for some error messages, errors. We can write some exceptions. How we can raise an exception, we'll see. Let's go. Come on. Here, sum equals to
n1 plus n2.
n2. Print sum. What is
Sum.
print? You have to tell after this particular, okay, after 10 minutes discussion, what is the type of the print you have to tell. Okay, okay, done. Now can I run it? Yes, this is like 100% valid or invalid? Syntactically
Valid.
valid. For example, if I remove this one, if I run this one, what happened? Come on, first,
Syntax error.
what is that error? Syntax error. Syntax errors, do we have any reasons? Okay, do we have any logic? I mean, do we have any logic to fix this issue? No, right? You need to follow what? You need to follow what? Guidelines. What is the guideline? If it is a function, it is expecting a colon or not. Okay, done. Okay, now see my find sum function without errors created or not? Yes, no. Now I'm going to write some code. You only answer this one. Okay, find sum, right? If I run this, what happened?
Not defined.
If I run this one, if I'm executing sum, what happened?
Sum is not defined. As there.
Okay, previous maybe the sum is there, but you are right. You created some other. Okay, this is like online editor, right? Okay, previous some other stuff also there. Then the time it is going to use that code. Don't worry about that. Okay, somewhere this method is like a predefined method is there. Don't worry about this one. Okay, you can take this. Now tell me. Now your answer correct. Come on. It's like a predefined one. Leave that one. Now, come on.
Not defined.
Exact error message.
N1 not defined.
N1 is not defined or not. Now, if I write like this, what exactly the message? Defined or not defined?
Defined.
My find sum
It
defined
calls
or
the function.
One. Find some defined or not? Yes, defined, right? Don't think like it is like defined as a variable always. Don't think like that. That's the reason I'm not specifying this one like a variable. I'm telling like what? Member. Okay. Find some is defined or not. Find some member. Defined as a variable or something else, it is not a matter. Find some is there or not there somewhere. Tell me. Come on.
There.
There or not there? Yes, there. Now, what is the value of find sum? What is the value of find sum? Hmm? What is the value? Find sum is what? For example, if I write like n1 equals to 10, what is n1?
30.
n1 equals to 10. What is n1? n1 is what? n1 is 10.
Variable.
n1 is a variable only. Value. n1 is 10. Yes or no? Here find sum is what? Is a
function.
It's a function, right? Okay, if you run this, you can see that particular find some function or not. Yes or no? Come on. Find some function or not. Okay. But you're expecting like the result or output is like a function or 30 na. What you're expecting? Your final output should be what?
30.
30.
Right? Okay, that 30 who required? First person required, second person required, third person also required or not? Yes or no? So I want to ask the first person. Okay, hey, first person, I want to ask. Okay, this guy want to use this particular function to get the output 30 or not. So how one person use that particular function? That means person leave it. How we can use the function? In your hand, one function is there. How we can use it? When the function give the services to you, whenever you call that function or not. If I want to call you, if I know the name, I can call it or not. What is the name of the function?
Find some.
The function find sum. This is the name. How we can call it? With the parentheses like this, with the bracket.
Representation.
Okay, now if you come here, now see, you can get the output is like 30 or not. Now the same thing, can I ask to my second person to call it? Can I ask the third person also? Can I ask him to call? Then the time you can get the output is like 30 or not. Now tell me, how many times you written the code?
One time.
Only one time or not? Okay, you ask remaining people use this particular function or not. Now you can define function and how to create a function. Syntax also tell me. Come on, why we go for functions? The function always represents some functionality. Okay, that can be reusable or not. Now this function, you represent some functionality that can be reused by first person, second person, third person also or not. That functionality. Yes or no? In Python, what is the syntax for the function? By using def keyword, we can create the function. Def, your function name, representation, and come on, what is that? Block. Okay, my function block starts from here. Okay, how many statements are there in this particular function? 4 statements. How we can say these are the 4 statements? How we can say?
Indentation.
You need to follow the indentation or not. Okay, how many statements are followed the indentation? Okay, those many statements are belongs to that particular block, not only function block. If also one block is there, but you have to understand like how many statements followed the indentation. Those many statements are belongs to that particular block. Now my question is, now if I run this one, what exactly the error? Okay, let me
Indentation error.
control check. Okay. Can I write the code again here? What is that? Syntax error or any other error?
Indentation error.
You can get like what? Come on. Unexpected indent.
Indentation.
Unexpected indent. Where in the print. Okay. Now I'm going to remove this print. Okay. Now, what is that? Exact error I want. If I run this one, tell me the exact error.
N1, N2 not.
Come on. Now here indentation error not. Why? Because these two are followed the indentation. That is the reason these two are belongs to this particular block that is closed. Done. This is a fresh statement or not, which is inside the function or outside the function?
Outside the function.
Outside the function or not. Now tell me, whenever this is one function executed, after that this statement executed, that time n1 there or not there?
Not there.
Not there, right? N1 inside the function, but outside it is not there. That's the reason. What is the error you can get it? N1 is not defined error. You can get it or not. Yes, not? Agreed? Come on. Okay. Up to okay or not? Okay, my question is, write a function to print your name. Right. Write a function to print your name. Tell me first.
df
Df
name
Function name.
function name. What is my function name? Print
name
name.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
parenthesis
Representation.
Presentation.
Colon.
Column. Next. Write the
Print
statements with indentation. If you want inside that particular block. What?
print name
Print
Print name equal to something.
whatever it is. Okay. Now, if I run this, what happened? Nothing. You written one function means you written some functionality. That's it. When you can get the services from the function,
and we call it.
while calling or not. Okay. Now, one thing you have to remember. If you have a variable in your hand, what do you have to do?
We'll use it.
Use it. If you have a function in your hand, what do you have to do?
Call it.
Call it.
If you have a class in your hand, what do you have to do? Create an object and consume the members of a class or not. In this case, what do you have in your hand? In this case, what do you have? A function. If you have a function in your hand, what do you want me to do? You can call it. How you can call? Function name and
Representation.
now you can see the message or not. Now, one statement, it is very, very important statement. This is like a, okay, common for all the programming languages. Up to here, just forgot. Okay, it's like a fresh statement. Think like that. If in any programming language, if you see this statement like this, what do you think? In
Function
any
call.
programming language, if you see one statement like this, what do you think about this statement?
Function
Function
calling.
call.
It is like a function call. Okay, here if you observe, there has two sections are there. Yes, sir? There has two sections are there. This is one section and this is what? Calling section. So whenever you call like this, the prefix should be what?
Function.
It should be what? It should be a function or not? Yes or no? You are calling means the prefix should be what? A function. So my fn should be what? My fn should be what? A function or not? See, fn should be a function. Wherever, okay, any programming language we can take it. If you see this statement, it is nothing but calling what? Fn. Fn you are calling means my fn should be what? A function or not? Agreed? Okay. Now if I run this one, what exactly the error message?
Function fn not defined.
In fact, fn is not defined or not. See, I said like two sections. First section and second section. First section only failed. It is not go to the second section. First section is what? Fn. Fn defined or not defined? We can think about the calling later. Fn defined or not defined? Tell me. Not defined, right? So one member is not defined, then you can get the error is like what? Fn is not defined. Now
ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಪೈಥಾನ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಹೌದಾ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಹೌದಾ
here
అది అంటున్నా నార్మల్
equals to 10. N1 equals to 10. N1 equals to 10. Otherwise, you can say F2 equals to 10. Okay, na? Listen carefully, important. Now, if I write like this, exact error message type. See, how many sections? By
Not
seeing this,
callable.
yeah, by seeing this one, what you can understand? By seeing this one, what you can understand? You are
Function
calling F2.
ఫంక్షన్ కాలింగ్
You are calling F2 means you are calling a function. Yes, you are calling F2. You are calling F2 means F2 should be one
Function.
function. First check F2 defined or not. First check F2 there or not there.
There.
దేర్
F2 there. F2 there means you avoid this error or not. Yes. My F2 there. Okay, perfect. Next one. F2 there, but I am expecting F2 which type? As like which type?
Function.
By seeing this statement, my F2 should be what? What I said? Should be what? Function. But my actual F2 is what?
Int.
Number, right? Integer, right? Is my integer is a function?
No.
No.
Okay. If it is a function, I can call it. If it is like integer, can I call?
No. Callable.
Right. Then what is error? What is error?
Object not callable.
Integer object is not callable or not here. Fn you are calling. Fn calling means Fn should be a function. F2 you are calling. F2 should be a function. But F2 should be a function. But here F2 is what? But here F2 is what? But here F2 is a number, integer or not. That's the reason. What is the error message? What is the message you can get it? What is the error? You can get it. Integer object is not callable. Integer object is not callable or not. Agreed, everyone? Understood? Okay. So 2 error messages so far we covered. 3 with syntax error. First one is what? Not defined is one error. Not defined. Another one is what? Is not callable. Whenever you get this kind of error, what you can understand in your mind? I am looking for something that is not defined. Yes or no? If you see this kind of error, is not callable. I am looking for a function, but it is not a function or not. Yes or no? I am looking for a function, but it is not a function. Yes, no? Okay, everyone? Any questions, anyone so far? So I'm going to upload this video. Whatever I added in the class, okay, whatever the statements we executed in the class, those statements only for now we can execute and see the error messages. Practice those error messages. Why this error message came? How we can fix it? Why this error message? How we can fix it? Like this different scenarios, you can test it in the Google Colab. Understood? I'm going to upload this video. Okay. So remaining things we'll see in the next session. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Any questions, anybody?
సార్
Yep.
సార్ ఫ్రమ్ వేరియబుల్స్ ఇట్ హ్యావ్ టైప్ వాల్యూ స్కోప్ లొకేషన్ వాట్ ఇస్ దట్ సార్
Yeah, each and every variable, okay, based on the uses in the function, if you use, then the time it's like a local variable. Outside it's like a global variable. The scope is nothing but, okay, the lifetime, where exactly we are going to use. For example, you define a function, they define a variable in the function. The scope of the variable is like within the function. That is a separate concept. We will discuss that one. The scope is nothing but, okay, where exactly we are going to use. If you write a function like this, inside this function, you use like n1, n2, right? This n1, n2 scope is like, then the function only you can use it. Outside the function we can't use. That's the reason n1, n2 scope is like a local scope. If you write n1 outside, then that time it's like a global variable, like that. Understood? The scope, the accessing area, where we can access, in which area we can access. Okay.
Oh, sir. Sir, lifetime means, sir, what?
Okay, this n1 lifetime is what? Okay, n1 is like within the function only we can use it. Outside the function we not use means what? Whenever you call a function, my n1 is like defined. Whenever it is like ended, my n1 is like destroyed. My n1 is like destroyed or not? Yes or no? My n1 is not,
Yes, sir.
okay, no more. If you write that n1 outside, then the time n1 is like always alive, always available. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, anyone? Any questions? So all are completed like setup, right? All completed setup or not? The environment setup. If you not complete, just complete it. Okay, practice all these things. Okay, I'm going to share you this video. Just you can go through that video. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Okay, that scope and everything we'll discuss. We'll discuss that.
Okay, sir.
Okay then. Thank you guys. Bye.